Hey everyone, you know how sometimes you're reading a story and a single phrase just jumps out at you? One that feels like it has all this hidden weight and meaning? Well, today we're diving deep into one of those. We're going to deconstruct a fascinating fictional metaphor, the pepper lamb. I mean, right off the bat, it's a weird one, right? Pepper is all about spice and bite, and lamb is, well, it's gentle and soft. So what on earth could pepper lamb possibly mean? And why is it so important in its world? That is exactly the puzzle we're going to solve today. So the term actually comes from the fictional Arreqqana coastal dialect, Doroshmo Kivasawa. Literally, it translates to pepper lamb. But as you're about to see, the literal translation barely even scratches the surface. This thing is an affectionate nickname, a cultural cornerstone, and a character summary all rolled into one. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious use. It's a pet name. But how do these two totally opposite ideas, that spice and that gentleness, actually come together to create this really unique language of love? And this is where it gets really cool. The name lays out this beautiful contrast. On one side, you've got Doroshmo, the lamb. That symbolizes everything soft and gentle, right? Innocence, familial love. But then you have Kivasa, the pepper. That's all about spice, playfulness, passion, even a little bit of fire. So when you stick them together, you're not just saying two words. You're saying something like, you're the gentle one who spices up my life. It's this perfect, balanced idea of love. And get this, the language is super flexible, and it reflects all these different shades of intimacy. That little wa suffix adds this warmth, turning it into my little pepper lamb. Sometimes it gets shortened to kivasajmo, for a more playful whispered moment. Or you could just lean into one side of it, calling someone Pippi, my lamb, if you're feeling tender, or just my little pepper for some lighthearted teasing. Every single version carries a different emotional flavor. But to really get this metaphor, we've got to go beyond just the words. Words don't exist in a vacuum, right? Next up, we're going to see how this whole idea is woven into the actual culture of Arreqqana through a very specific ritual. See, in this world, cooking lamb isn't just cooking, it's a whole ritual of balance. It's all about finding this perfect harmony between two fundamental concepts, kasor, which is all about heat and boldness, and nakia, which stands for softness and a kind of gentle power. And, of course, the ingredients themselves are packed with meaning. You've got coarse sea salt to connect the meal to the ocean. The black pepper, the kivasa, has to be freshly crushed for vitality. And then you get the two big players. The red pepper, arisha, which brings the kasor, that heat. And then there's the milder green pepper leaf, nakivari, which embodies the nakia, that soft power. The technique itself is also just loaded with intention. You don't just sprinkle the pepper on, no, you press it in with both palms like you're sealing blessings right into the meat. There's even a saying, the spice must feel your warmth before it meets the fire. And if you grill it, you finish it with smoke from driftwood, which adds this last little briny sharpness. Every single step is about finding that balance.
And this right here, this just nails the entire philosophy. This old Arreqqana proverb says it all. You need the gentleness of the lamb, but you also need the sharpness of the pepper. One without the other is just incomplete. You need both to really face the world.
Okay, so we have the language, we have the cultural ritual. Now for the payoff. Let's see how this whole big idea comes to life in one single emotional scene between our two characters, Jeru and Peppy. So, picture this. The scene kicks off with some serious tension. You've got Jeru, who's described as intense and piercing. He is the absolute embodiment of kasor, of that heat. And he's leaning in towards Peppy, who's all shy and nervous. She is pure nakia, all softness. And Jaru's words are so possessive, so passionate. He is just pushing the whole dynamic forward with his intensity. That is the fiery pepper element in full force. You could feel him trying to claim her to kind of dominate the moment. And in his own head, that intensity just hits its absolute peak. That thought, if I lean in now, she's mine. That's the culmination of all that fiery, kasori energy. For a second, that heat is just about to boil over and consume the entire scene. But then, just as that tension is about to snap, the whole thing pivots. Jeru, in all his intensity, actually notices something's wrong. He senses this vulnerability in Peppy, and the entire mood shifts from pure passion to something way deeper. His question, man, it changes everything. His focus isn't on possessing her anymore. It's on perceiving her. That same intense, piercing quality is now being used to understand her, to see past her shy exterior to whatever is going on underneath. And here it is. This is the reveal of the lamb. Pepi admits her fear, her feeling of being broken. This is her moment of pure Nakia. It's gentle, it's vulnerable, and it's incredibly honest. She's not fighting fire with fire. She's revealing her softness. And this is the magic moment. Jeru's heat doesn't put out her softness. It transforms into this protective warmth. He meets her vulnerability not with more fire, but with this rock-solid promise of support. This is the metaphor in action. He's perfectly peppering the lamb, giving her strength and spice without ever drowning out her tenderness. And the scene just resolves with this perfect physical image of that balance. He pulls her in, their foreheads touch. It's a gesture of equals, of a deep connection. The pepper and the lamb aren't fighting anymore. They're in perfect harmony. So why on earth did we just spend all this time on one little pet name? Well, because it's an absolute masterclass in world building and storytelling. What makes the pepper lamb metaphor so incredibly powerful is that it's not just a cute nickname, it's like the connective tissue for the entire story. It binds the language, the culture, and the character relationships into this one cohesive, totally believable whole. I mean, just think about the layers we peeled back. It all starts with a language, which sets up this core idea of balancing opposites. Then that idea gets grounded in a real, tangible cultural ritual, which makes it feel sensory and authentic. And finally, the whole thing is brought to life through the characters, which takes this big idea and makes it deeply personal and emotional. The result? A world that just feels lived in and real. All of this just proves that sometimes the smallest details are the ones that carry the most weight. So the next time you're lost in a great book or movie, I want you to think about this. What are the pepper lambs in those worlds? What are those tiny, resonant details that make those stories feel completely and utterly alive? Thanks for diving in with me on this one.